أن يكونوا بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وعجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين. ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد وعليه الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكر فضائلهم ومناقبهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، أسعد الله أيامكم ولياليكم والسلام عليكم أيضا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Greetings and felicitations upon the beginning of the month of Sha'aban. As we all know that the month of Sha'aban is known as the month of the Prophet. The month of Rajab, which just passed, is known as month of Allah. And the month of Ramadan, which is about to come in a month's time, is known as the month of the Ummah, of the nation. And these 3 months are very special months. If somebody misses out in this month, definitely that person will miss out on the Eid al-Fitr. Because Eid al-Fitr is the day of getting the rewards, is the results day. You get the results on the day of Eid al-Fitr. So all these days are the days of working hard. So if you work hard in Rajab, if you work hard in Sha'aban, and obviously Ramadan, which we are forced to work hard in a way, because fasting is wajib, and we fast and we work hard somehow. We are sometimes forced in the sense that we are obliged to a certain degree to be awake in the nights of Qadr and do some extra du'as. In the month of Ramadan, we do, culture promotes us in a way to give charity. But the Rajab and Sha'aban, it's a bit kind of like, mellow. So, however, people of the path, people who wants to be on the path of spiritual wayfaring, ma'nawiyah, definitely they do not let the month of Rajab and Sha'aban just pass by like that. In the margin, I do acknowledge and I do appreciate all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, and their presence in performing their daily prayers, in recitation of the du'as, in participation of the majalis, because definitely the whole atmosphere that we live in, the place that we live in, it doesn't promote what we are doing, but rather demotes, but rather is a hurdle. The preoccupation is so powerful for all of us. 9 to 5 job, before many of who are married, have children, they have to drop the school, they have to drop their kids to their school, before going to work. And then at work is itself has its own, stress, by train, by car, by traffic and all that. And then still, alhamdulillah, may Allah bless you all, that you perform your salat, that you focus towards deen, that you are concerned about the community, So indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never overlook your exercise, your sort of struggles. And definitely, He will reward you all in abundance. And for sure, you could feel and that Allah is rewarding you in abundance, where you are capable and able of understanding some of those mystical, philosophical, knowledgeable principles that a person who lives in an environment, in an atmosphere where for that person is very easy to practice deen, such as in Karbala or Najaf or Qom or Mashhad, for example. But you youngsters, you brothers and sisters, it's just fascinating that how you kind of synchronizes your intellectual understanding with some of those things which are quite deep to understand. And this is because of your sincerity. This is because of your engagement, with deen, with religion, with Ahl Bayt, with Quran, in this environment. Allah is adil, Allah is just. Allah looks at your little, contribution and your little participation with so much of pressure, stress that you all have from schools, from universities, from workplace. And in return, Allah makes you your yaqeen, your spirituality, your connection with Him, with Ahl Bayt strong. Alhamdulillah, we are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah have given us this opportunity on a Friday evening. Perhaps many of them might be busy in doing some other stuff, especially in Brighton. We are here in this humble gathering, trying to remind each other of Rasulullah, of Allah, and love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's all together recite one salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. This month, as we said, it's a month of Sha'aban. Some of them have said it comes from the Sha'ab, which actually means young. So it's a month of young people. Young people, not in the Zahiri sense, I'm young at heart too, right? I may look very old with white beard and whatnot, right? But I'm young at heart. Yes, Alhamdulillah, because we are Abbas, both of us, right? That's why. So, young at heart in the sense that containing that love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart. So this month is of lovers, and our beloved is Allah. That's why in this month there's a very special munajat which is known as Munajat-e-Sha'baniyah. Very important for all of us to reflect upon, to read this munajat every day. Not all of it, perhaps one page, perhaps 5 verses from this munajat and its translation, and try to understand. Because as we said, this month is of lovers, is of young people. And our beloved is Allah, because Imam Ali in this munajat mentions that vis-a-vis sins, for me to control myself is not possible. Because sin have a passion. Sin is very attractive. And we are pulled towards it. So therefore, Amirul Mu'mineen is saying, it's not possible, O Allah. La hawlun. There is no hawl, there is no power for me to control myself in front of a sin. However, if your love is alive, or if your love is enlightened in my heart, if your love is ignited in my heart, this love will not allow me to commit a sin. So love becomes that phenomena by which a person will control oneself. So love is very important. Halid deen illa al-hub. The sixth Imam says, is religion nothing but love. Religion is love, right? And that's why, I think I had mentioned this story last time when I was here as well, perhaps if I haven't, for some of the brothers and sisters who are not here, that the famous tale of Layli wa Majnoon, right? The love of Majnoon, that's why he's known as Majnoon, means somebody who's crazy in love, of Layli. That sometimes Majnoon goes and kisses the feet of the dog. They say, it's Majnoon, what is he doing, kissing the feet of the dog? He says, they ask him why. He says, because sometimes this dog goes into the house of Layla. Right? That love, that everything becomes nothing but about the beloved. As they say that Majnun went for Hajj or Umrah or something. As soon as he sees the Kaaba, which have a black cloth, he says, oh, this is Layla. He remembers the chador, the black, that the Layla used to wear. He's remembering, instead of remembering Allah, he's remembering. There's another story which says that, the tribe of Majnun, they say, this guy is not eating, not drinking. Why is he not eating? Because he's in love with Layla, with another tribe. These two tribes, they were not friends of each other. And so the tribe of Majnun, they said, okay, look, let's go and fight with these guys. And how come our young lad is, not given the hand or is not getting married to this Layla from the other tribe? So they started fighting with each other. These two tribes, they were fighting with each other. And then when they were fighting with each other, Majnun should be on the side of the tribe, of his tribe. But rather being on the side of his tribe, he started fighting with his own tribe. He says, why are you attacking my Layla's tribe? So love makes a person, takes his all focus, energy, every breath becomes nothing but the beloved. So if that love is ignited in the heart of ours, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then nothing can stop us. Right? So this month is the month of lovers. Is Sha'aban, is a month of the young heart. So we all have to make sure that we make best use of it. That's why, as the Prophet has, the month of Sha'aban is my month. There's Salawat-e-Sha'baniya, which we are supposed to recite after every prayer, particularly after Zuhr prayer, we have to recite in the afternoon. It's a beautiful salawat which comes from the fourth Imam, right? Which also points out to a methodology of how we should be fulfilling the rights of the month. Because everything has its right on us, on our soul. This month have a right on our soul. And we have to fulfill that right. My parents have a right, my friend have a right, my teacher have a right, and I have to behave in accordingly, or I have to fulfill that right in the best way possible towards that. My wife, my friend, my animal, my house, everything has its right. And we have to fulfill that. So we have to fulfill the right of this month. That is why when you look at, for example, the fourth Imam, when the month of Ramadan is departing, he gives salams. He gives salams to the month. He says, Salaam alaik, the month which allowed me to do this. He gives salutations as if he's speaking to another human being, because you give salams to each other, right? But he's giving salams to the month. That means that this month, that means the time and space, zaman and makan, everything is alive and high. And we engage with that. And the way we treat this month, the month will treat us in the same way. So, not to let go this opportunity of engaging ourselves with the du'as of the month. Munajat-e-Sha'baniya wa Amirul Mu'mineen. Its translation, understanding, few lines of it. Salawat-e-Sha'baniya, highly recommended. Astaghfar is highly recommended in this month. 70 times Astaghfirullah wa Asalahu Tawbah to be recited every day, right? And fasting, if one can perform, that's really good. It's highly recommended to fast as well. All of these things will allow us and prepare us to enter the month of Ramadan in the best way possible. Now you guys are young, and if you start this from this month and this year, and maybe you have already started, Alhamdulillah, by the time you reach 40, 50, 60, these du'as and these, practices, rituals, spirituality will be so much with your nafs, with your soul, it will become one with your personality. As soon as this month of Rajab comes, you start to feel happy inside. The month of Sha'aban comes, there's some sort of joy inside you because you have engaged yourself with these du'as in this month. It's the time to, just like how the month of Ramadan comes, there's a joy, there's happiness. But when the month of Ramadan is finishing, we start missing the month because we have done that from young age, right? And we have reached to our teenage year or 20s or 30s. We have lived with this, right? The same way as, like for example, Imam Hussein. We have heard about Imam Hussein so much from the young age. When you go to Karbala, everything, the whole picture of the story of Imam Hussein is in front of our eyes. We engage, we communicate, we speak, and we feel so good and happy. And when we are departing, we feel so sad. Why? Because we've been with Imam Hussein's story for all of our life. And then this have allowed me to connect to Imam Hussein in the most beautiful way. So the same way, if I recite the du'as of the month of Rajab, Ya man arjuhu li kulli khair wa amanu sakhatu inna. Other du'as as well, for example. Or the month of Sha'aban, if I recite Munajat Sha'baniya, Salawat Sha'baniya, and I engage with it all my life, then I create that relationship with it. It just comes back to me. It's just like, we never forget how to ride a bicycle. We learned it when we were, 11, 12, 13. And we stopped, we did not, right? For example. Even after 90 years, a person can ride a bicycle because he has. So same way, these du'as are like that. So I read it now, and the next month comes, same sort of relationship, love. I would be able to engage with it. I will not forget. And I have to keep on doing this every year, till I, reach my 40s or 50s or 60s. Then we will realize that how, these du'as have become a friend of yours. And they communicate to you, they open up to you, they teach you, they, point out to those things of that reality in a most beautiful way, right? So we have to maintain and create that relationship, inshallah. Recite one salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, as we all know that this month of Sha'aban is full of celebrations. This is the month which does not have any shahadat. All ayat, there are a lot of milad, there are a lot of birthdays of great personalities in the month of Sha'aban. Today being the first, according to a narrative, is a milad and is the birth of Hazrat Zainab Salamullah alayha, first of Sha'aban. Third of Sha'aban, Imam Hussein. Fourth of Sha'aban, Imam Zainul Abidin. Fifth of Sha'aban, Abul Fazl Abbas. Sixth of Sha'aban, Ali Akbar. All the first 10 days, one after the other, they are birthdays of the victorious ones of Karbala. All those who were victorious in Karbala, they are all born in the month of Sha'aban. Very beautiful month. Why not be the case? Because this is the month of Prophet, the month of mercy, right? So this month and the weeks and the days to come, you have the birthday of Imam Hussein. Today is Bibi Zainab, and indeed, as tonight is a special night, which is the night of Hazrat Zainab, what would be more better than speaking about Imam Hussein? Because the bond between Zainab and Imam Hussein was very special. The bonding that they had, brother and sister, it was very special. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam, when we look at his life, we can divide this into, actually, some have said 4 different domains, or 4 can be classified into 4 different periods. But however, I would rather say 6, because Ayatollah Jawad Amali in one of his articles talks about 4 different periods of the life of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, like for example, from his birth and during the time of the Prophet. in terms of the narratives, hadiths that we have, that Imam Hussein, the third Imam, who have basically revived, who have kept alive what we are practicing today, is because of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because of his sacrifice. He is the pivotal reality of all of our practices. Indeed, that's Imam Hussein. That's why on the 27th of Rajab, which is the Mab'ath, which is the night of declaration or the beginning of Iqra, on that night when Imam Hussein was in the Masjid al-Nabawi, he had a vision of the Prophet and he said, look at that station in Jannah. He said, yes, it's beautiful. And the Prophet said in the dream or in that vision, this belongs to you, O Hussein. He says, really? And it belongs to no one else but you. Only Hussein have that maqam, that station. He says, really? Yes, but the path to this station goes through Karbala. And on 28th, he leaves Medina. 27th is this, 28th of Rajab is the Safar of Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein left Medina on the 28th of Safar, right? So Imam Hussein have the very unique position, station, and that is because of the ultimate sacrifice of Hussein. Fascinating. No one can be like Imam Hussein alayhi salam. No doubt in terms of our belief, Awwaluna Muhammad, Awsatuna Muhammad, Kulluna Muhammad. However, Imam Hussein is Imam Hussein. Right? So if you look at the life of Imam Hussein and the narratives which are peculiar to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. For example, the heaven and earth cried on the birth of Imam Hussein. We don't have any narrative like that for Imam Baqir or Imam Sadiq or no. But for Hussein, you have that hadith that the heaven and earth cried. When? At the birth. Rasulullah cried when he took Imam Hussein after the birth. He did not cry when he took, for example, Imam Hassan. We don't have riwayat like that. But for Imam Hussein, we have that, right? So there are unique narratives in regards to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and in regards to his upbringing, and the narratives that been mentioned by the Prophet. That's number one classification according to Jawadi. Then he talks about his life during Amirul Mu'mineen, how he was, his khutbah, his sermons, his sort of chivalry and his participation with Amirul Mu'mineen in battles and in attending to people, so on and so forth. The first one is the Prophet and Siddiqa Kubra, Fatimatu Zahra salamullah alayha as well, both. Then the second is Amirul Mu'mineen. And the third is during the time of Imam Hassan Mushtaba alayhi salam, the brother. When he was the Imam, he was there as well. The narratives that we find in regards to his life, that is number 3. And number 4 is in his own lifetime, how his speeches, like for example, there's a book, there's a compilation of narratives, sermons and hadiths, a very fat, thick book. Baqir Qureshi or somebody, I'm forgetting the name of the scholar. The publishers were Baqir Ulum, University of Baqir Ulum. They had printed that. A very fat book, 2 volumes I think, which contains only his speeches from Medina when he leaves and his khutbat, his sermons, till Ashura. That is a big chunk of speeches and narratives and khutbat and sermons from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Somebody who really want to understand the whole uprising of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and analyze that, these words and these speeches are very important, right? So during the 4th classification is his sort of lifetime, people or what he has said and what people have recorded in regards to him. However, I added 6. One is even before his birth, the narratives that are there in regards to Imam Hussein before his birth, we do find very mysterious, very mystical, very unique and special. And the other is after his death. Shafa'at of Imam Hussein is after his death, isn't it? After his Shahada. Imam Hussein and his state and how he will be, right? The question of Raja, Abul Fadl Abbas will come back, Ali Akbar will come back, Imam Hussein, right? So that is after the worldly martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Narrations that are there. So it's very fascinating to reflect upon this great personality, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now, something, this was just like a introduction to speak a couple of things in regards to him. When we look at his life, for example, very famous narration from the Prophet, which is Husaynu minni wa ana min Hussein, right? Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. So that means the baqa, the subsistence, the remaining of risalat, the risalat have been remained because of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He has kept alive the risalat. And when we look at risalat of Rasulullah, the message of Rasulullah, peculiarly and particularly importance, just now the Mab'as have gone, Iqra have gone, is knowledge. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi. The importance of ma'rifat and knowledge and understanding is overwhelming. In the Quran, which is the risalat of Rasulullah, and in the teachings of Rasulullah. It's very important. For all of us, young and old, that